Hey y'all, welcome in. Pull up a seat and let's get this video started. Alright, y'all. I'm just gonna come on here and say that I watched on Cajun page. I listened to this interview here, and I don't know who Lady K is. Don't know who this woman is. I know who Patrick is, and I know who Toddy One Skip. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, Patrick lied. Me and my husband was discussing this, and I know for a fact, a fact. Oh yes, you can build on in a flood zone in West Virginia. You could put a septic tank in a flood zone in West Virginia. You could put a septic tank where there's rubble ground in West Virginia. This dude is lying. I don't know what his deal is, why he's lying about it. I mean, look, Patrick, it's not a big deal. You could put a septic tank on it. So what? What is the big deal? Why are you lying about it? Just say what it is. You don't want the Whitakers to live there. I mean, Eric don't want the Whitakers together, and for some odd, strange reason, you don't want them there. I don't understand this. Me personally, if they, hopefully, and I'm praying, and I'm sorry if anybody thinks I'm wrong about this, I think that the three needs to go back to Betty. Betty has done a great job so far taking care of them. I'm sorry, but she has. She's done a great job taking care of them. Yes, her home was very, very cluttered and dirty, or if you want to call it dirty, I call it hoarded, because there's different levels of hoarding, and she is a hoarder. But I don't know. I think that they should, if they do give Betty her siblings and her nephew back, then and the reason I'm looking off that way is I'm looking towards my son's room. The reason, yeah, I thought Devin came out of the room, but anyways, I think what they should do, yes, I think they should build a house or put a house or whatever, modular, double wide, whatever, on that side of the road where the little hill is, where Larry and BJ's little camper thing was. I think that's where the new place should be put. I mean, that's just my opinion. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what content creator. It could be me, it could be Toddy, it could be Cajun, it could be whoever this Miss K is, it could be Philosophy Eats, or not Philosophy, Psychology Eats. I'm sorry, Miss Ma'am. Psychology Eats. I don't care who it is. At the end of the day, it's not up to Eric, it's not up to Patrick, it's not up to any of us. It's up to Betty and Larry and BJ where they want their family. Do they want them back in that house, or do they want to put a building, a house on that side? This is what's wrong with the whole situation. And I don't know who this lady is from North Carolina, South Carolina, wherever she's coming from. Hopefully she's coming in with good intentions. I'm hoping she's coming in with good intentions. But my husband looked right at me and said, she reminds me of a female Eric. And I said, God, I hope not. And I'm sorry. That is his opinion. And it is what it is. And I do agree with him. I think everybody should leave the Whitakers alone unless you are truly going to help, unless you're truly wanting to, be there to help Betty take care of her siblings, her nephew. And it is a big job taking care of elderly people, especially elderly people who have a mental disability. It is a very hard thing to do. I am speaking from experience. It is a very, very hard thing to do. If you want to go and help these Whitaker people, you want to help the Whitaker family get back together, you want to help them get a place, do this, do that, put their money in a trust and stuff like that, don't video it. Because you know what I talked about, and I still mean what I say. I would love to go get them. If we could get that house, we're still waiting. Still waiting. Getting a property and getting a house is a long process. And if we do end up getting this house, yes, I would love to go get them. And like I said, I've said it time and time and time again. Would I record it? No, I would not record it. However, no receipts were shown in the video I watched. It just shows their picture. No receipts were shown. Patrick. And I'm sorry. We all was waiting for this video to drop about this interview so you could show receipts. Nothing was shown. I'm sorry, Patrick, not Patrick. Eric, I'm sorry, but in my opinion only, I think isn't way worse, but is worse than Patrick when it comes to certain things. Patrick never ran and hid. At least he was still showing that Timmy was okay, even though I couldn't stand that haircut. Patrick, you really did not do wonders to that poor man. Putting dirty feet, I don't care whose feet it was, if it was his feet or a female's foot, whoever's foot it was, that's still disgusting. You don't do that. There's a lot of things, and going to the mall and then going into Victoria's Secret, I don't think that he took Timmy into Victoria's Secret to be malice, to do anything intentional. I think it was just fun, just bros having fun. But why share it though? Why put that video out there? Why not keep that video just for you and him to look back on? That's the issue. That's the problem. People seen the Whitakers. They seen the Whitakers on Mark's channel and what all happened. Mark was done. I mean, my God, the man put in 20 plus years on this family. There's only so much a person can take, and then they're done. Okay, I'm not saying I don't like the Whitakers. I do. I love the Whitakers. From what I've seen, I love the Whitakers. And, you know, I just don't understand people coming in there and thinking, oh, I'm going to make a quick buck off these people. Well, honey, it backfired in Mark, in Patrick's face and in Eric's face. It backfired on both of them. Because now they are the center of all this drama. They got 3 people taken out of their homes and away from their family. I hope you're proud of yourself, Eric. I really hope you're proud of yourself. And for people saying that Betty can't take care of her family, she's done a daggum good job doing it for the past 70 years. I think she's done excellent. So if anybody wants to disagree with me, that's fine. It is what it is. But all in all, this family is like super, super close. And Betty, yes. Betty, look, I've seen a video with her in it, a recent video with her in it. And it's just been, since August or the beginning of September or something, since her family got taken from her. And it's just October now. It hasn't been that long. It's just been a few weeks. And she looks hard. I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be mean, but she does. This is taking a real big, hard toll on her because they are really, really close. And I'm telling you, and I hope to God Betty and BJ and Larry is watching this, because I'm telling you right now, y'all get your family back. Keep people away from you. Just keep them away. I don't care if they say, well, we just here with good. No, let them take their good intentions on elsewhere. Unless they come to you, they don't have a camera. Don't let anybody put this on social media anymore. Y'all do not need this anymore. I'm sorry, but that is my opinion. That's how I feel about it. Patrick sat and lied. That's all I was going to talk about, was him lying about the septic tank, and then I got into a rant. But about half of West Virginia, or a little more than half of West Virginia, is nothing but a flood zone. It is nothing but a flood zone. Where we lived in Clarksburg was a flood zone. Even though we lived on a hill, it was still considered a flood zone there. And we couldn't get flood insurance. But we had a house there. My husband's aunt that gave her his house, the second house that we owned, that was in a flood zone. And it flooded, and she was on a hill. The only stipulation that you have with having a house and building a house within a flood zone is that insurance companies will not insure you with flood insurance. You can put a septic in a flood zone. You can put septic on rubble. I mean, my husband should know. His family should know. They have never lived anywhere else but West Virginia. This is the first time my husband's ever lived out of the state of West Virginia. We moved from West Virginia to Alabama, but all of his family still live up there in West Virginia. And if you're not from West Virginia and you think you know because you work for this and you work for that and you da-da-da-da-da, you don't know. West Virginia is like its own little country. They run things different. They do things a lot different than what anybody else would do. Their state is just, it is. It's like stepping in a whole new country. And you feel like it too. And when you're living there, you feel like you're in a whole totally different country than in the United States. And I mean, but like I said, I just don't understand the lie. Why Patrick lie about that? And I don't get it. I really don't get it. And if y'all want to say I'm giving misinformation, no, I'm not. Like I said, my husband's family still lives in West Virginia. We lived in West Virginia. Our house was in a flood zone. After we sold our house, we were thinking about moving to Richwood, West Virginia, which is nothing but a flood zone. It is every bit of Richwood is a flood zone. And that's what made me say no. Where my storage building is, out there in Harrison County, is a flood zone. Walmart is in a flood zone. Everything is in a flood zone. To be honest with you, just about everything. More than half of Wallace is in a flood zone. And they built a brand new Dollar General out there. And guess where it's at? It's in the flood zone of Wallace. But anyways, and like I said, it is what it is. I think the higher up you get into West Virginia, like towards Romney and all that, I don't think that's flood zones up through there and up towards like Wheeling, and I don't think those are flood zone areas. But where we lived and on down towards the south of West Virginia, like going into Kentucky and Virginia, those are flood zone areas. And those are, and to get out of West Virginia, you have to go up the mountain and then back down the mountain, go through the tunnel, which is through the mountain. So I had to put my bonnet back on my head. My hair was getting on my nerves. But anyways, back to what we were talking about. I'm going to try to get my husband to come on here and let y'all see, or let y'all hear, let him tell y'all how they do it in West Virginia. Because like I said, he was born and raised in West Virginia. This is his first time ever living outside of West Virginia. But if you're not from West Virginia and you think you know, you don't know. That's just like when the old saying is, when you get into the, go out in the woods, if you think you hear something, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay. But anyways, just like with going back to what we was talking about Betty, my thing is, I think the big problem that Betty and them had was a little bit of laziness. But I don't think it was all laziness, because I worked in the oil field in West Virginia when I lived there, and I'm telling you, going down them haulers and going down them back roads and stuff, there's a lot of houses that look like the Whitakers. And I don't care who says what. Just like Ountville, how do you say his name? Ountville. No, the guy. Oompa Loompa. Are you? Okay. Anyways, he said, okay, he's from Virginia. He's not from West Virginia. And he was sitting there saying, not everybody lives like that. If you don't know, you don't know. I've seen a whole lot of houses that look just like the Whitakers. Furniture on the porch, like recliners and couches and stuff all in the yard, trash on the porch, stuff like that when I was working out in the oil field. Now, not everybody lives like that. No, not everybody. But there's a big majority of people that live out there in them haulers that do live like that. And my thing is, I don't think it is hoarding, but like I said, there's different levels to hoarding. And I think Betty has took on too much in her life, way too much in her life, and she made a promise to her mom as she should never made a promise about, because I think that's did something to her psyche. And I think that, I think it's because sometimes when hoarders, they have had so many tragedies in their life. Something tragic had happened to them, whether it be losing someone or whatever it was. That's what causes their hoarding. Or their parents were like that, and that's what they think they have to do. And she did, and Kenny said his parents were like that. So it might have been just a taught thing. But okay, I'm sitting here watching the Whitakers now, and watching the one Mark did, but I also read comments about people were claiming that Ray would watch somebody on TV kissing, and he ran out the house with his holding his manhood and using it as a yo-yo or one of those slap paddles, but yeah. I've watched Mark's videos, and there's plenty of times that he's been on Mark's videos and he's been watching TV, cowboy movies. They kiss on every one of them cowboy movies, and not one time did I see him run out that house doing that. Did he walk around the house or to the side of the house, and just pull it out and pee? Yeah. Yeah, I've seen him do that. But, I mean, at least he's not peeing his pants like people are claiming. Yes, people have accidents, okay? Yeah, they do. Even adults have it. I don't care who you are. Everybody has had accidents before or still has accidents, bathroom-wise. The
Just like me.
one, well, everybody does. But one video where it looked like he had some like poop or something all over his britches. If you go back and you listen really, really good, which we have these surround sound speakers, you can hear Betty say, it might have been Betty or BJ, say he fell in the yard. He fell. He might have fell in mud. That might have been just mud. And everybody want to speculate because he's got a... And people want to speculate just because he's got a mental disability that it's automatically he pooped his pants. Okay, we seen the video where Mark took him to Virginia to the family cemetery, and you could see where Ray had pulled his pants down to use the bathroom. But there he had pee on himself. And I think what happened was he was probably in the back of the car saying, going, like he usually does. And they didn't know that meant he had to go to the bathroom. Because it wasn't long after that, when Mark took him to the fair, to the state fair, he stopped before they got there and let Ray use the bathroom. But when it comes to mental handicap people like that, they should always carry an extra set of clothes just in case. But anyways, that's, like I said, well, I will see y'all tonight. I'm going live, and I want to talk about the Whitakers. I want to hear y'all's views, y'all's opinions. I want to get mine out there. And let's sit and we talk about that, okay? And the next person after the Whitakers I want to talk about is this man right here. Y'all know who it is. Do y'all know who that is? Drop a comment. Let me know. Y'all, please subscribe, like, share, comment, ring that bell, and I will see y'all later. Love y'all. Mean it.